another episode of Threes and TDs. Today we're going to talk about the Carolina Panthers and what this wide receiver room is going to look like and why I'm excited about what the Panthers are doing, what I think they're going to continue to look like. First piece of news, first piece of order is David Clowney got released by the Carolina Panthers. This was a big news. If you look at Panthers BlueSky or Panthers Twitter or X, it was really divided. There were a lot of Panthers content creators that were essentially saying, why would you let go of a depth piece on a very young line? And then there was another set of people that were like, no, we want to give Nick Scourton and Pritzley more reps. Some of the free agent signings on that defensive line more depth. So here's where I stand on Jadeveon Clowney and not releasing Jadeveon Clowney. First of all, it saved them $8 million against the cap. So there's going to be a lot more room now to sign these younger players. I think that's really important. The second thing that I think is important is Dan Morgan has a strategy. And the strategy is he wants his team to be younger. If you look at the strategy that Dan Morgan has employed the last 2 years, he wants to get faster, he wants to get bigger, he wants to sign guys from the SEC, and he wants to get younger. The only reason they signed Clowney last year is because they didn't have a choice. They needed some veteran, but all of the signings have been 27 years or younger. He wants to get younger. Clowney doesn't fit that build. There's been reports by Joe Person that there was also some things with Clowney's knee. Now, one argument might be you could still use him as a depth piece, and that's a great argument to have. If we had the money, I would have probably kept Clowney, but I don't think it's necessary. I don't think Clowney is a necessary piece. So I trust Dan Morgan when it comes to this. We have enough depth in our defensive line for it not to hurt us, for Clowney not to play. Clowney, to me, is a really good third down defensive edge. That's what he does. He's really good on third down. He cannot play consistently at his age 3 downs. And I think Scourton is going to give you that. Really, this comes down to how high are you on Clowney? I think that there's enough depth on that defensive line where the Panthers did not need Clowney anymore. They didn't need him. From a financial perspective, you save money. So that's my take on Clowney. I really could see it either way. To me, it's not the kind of thing where like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did this, or oh my gosh, I can't believe they didn't do this. I really could see it either way. But yeah, it divided the Panthers fan base. So that was interesting to see. I wanted to talk briefly about the scheme of what this Panthers offense is going to look like on the wide receiver end of things. Matt Harmon, he kind of tracks the best kinds of routes that wide receivers play. On X today, he had a really interesting perspective. He said Xavier Legette had his best offense the first half of the season where they didn't have to move him to the X. So after Deontay Johnson got released, that all happened. He had the back half of the season for Xavier was not good. What is Xavier Legette's best route run? Like, what's the best route he runs? It's a dig and it's posts. It's where he gains separation and then you have the yak, right? You have the yards after the catch. That is his skill set. He is not an X receiver. Can he develop into being an X receiver in the future? Sure. Like I'm sure with development, he's got that in him if he wants to work hard enough. Tetairoa McMillan is an X receiver. He did have the best contested catch rate of anybody in college football. He is really good about being that number one receiver. He is really good at the curls. He is really good at go routes and getting those one-on-one balls. So for me, what I'm most excited about this team is I'm excited that there's a plan. I'm excited when we have this data of the kinds of routes that Xavier is going to run, they complement somebody like McMillan because Xavier doesn't have to play the X. Xavier can play the Y. And because Xavier plays the Y, Dave Canales is going to do digs. He's going to do post routes where Xavier gains some separation, right? He gains separation and then he can get yards after catch. So that's really exciting to me. It's not only that we are drafting good players. What we're doing is we have a plan for the players we're actually drafting. And I don't think we've had that since, I don't know, 2018. Even before, there hasn't been this kind of strategic element to the way we draft players. We're not only drafting players with skill, we're also drafting players with a mission of what we think they're going to do. So I think this wide receiver room with Dave Canales is going to look really good, and I'm excited. Also, we haven't even talked about Jimmy Horn. Jimmy Horn, I think, is going to be fantastic. He's going to give us speed. He's going to give us essentially a kind of backup role to Adam Thielen, and I'm really excited about what Jimmy Horn's going to look like. So we'll see. I know it's the summer, training camp's not that far away, but I'm very, very excited about this wide receiver room.